Cool. Are you able to see my browsers and all on your team?
Yes,
Cool,
yes.
cool. Let's get started. So, hi Tim, Ashutosh here. So today, I'm going to present what are different advanced TypeScript. It's in part zero, kind of its basic concepts of advanced TypeScript, like what is TypeScript and what are things we used. So we'll go deep in down what are things we used in normal day-to-day lives. This session is more basically focused into the members who are just started with TypeScript, adding their day-to-day lives and adding day-to-day in their day-to-day lives. So this session will help more into them, and it will help the other members kind of in part zero. I am covered few basic stuffs, but yes, in basic stuffs also you find there are few keywords you might get know at the end of the session. Okay, so let's get started. So basically and frankly, I just covered few basic concepts of TypeScript in this part. In near parts, in the subsequent parts, it will go deep down in advanced concepts. So why didn't I put few advanced concepts here? Because if I do so, then it's kind of jargon. It kinds of add jargons into the presentation, and the recent guy who started learning new stuffs in TypeScript, he or she might face it's kind of tough. I'm not sure. I am not going to use that and all. So because of that, I am planning to start with few basic stuffs which you used in our day-to-day lives, like class, inheritance, interfaces, functions. Even though we didn't use that in our TypeScript, but definitely in our engineering time, in our previous time in C, C++, we might hear these terms, interfaces, classes, functions, and all. And today we're going to start with few concepts, like what is basic, pure basic concepts, what is TypeScript, then what is the difference between JS, TypeScript, ECMAScript, Babel and all. Then go started with basic data types are available over there. Then in subsequent interfaces, classes, functions, and at the end of this session, we'll discuss more on MCQs. There are few questions I have added. So we'll discuss more on that at the end of the session. So let's start with what is TypeScript. So there are 2 points over there. The first point suggests that TypeScript is a free open source programming language developed by maintained by Microsoft. There is, frankly, it the first point has no need of it, so it has no point added into our knowledge. But the second point, the TypeScript is the ECMAScript version of JavaScript with some additional features. Frankly, this sentence is more valuable to understand what is TypeScript and all. In the next slide, we'll discuss on what is ECMAScript, what is TypeScript, what is JavaScript, what is our different version of ECMAScripts are there in our next slide. But if I'm going to write something, what is TypeScript? If I'm going to do that, so TypeScript equal to if I'm going to do so, TS equal to ES6 version of JS plus some feature, features, kind of this. It has simple equation. T is equal to ECMAScript version of JavaScript plus some features, advanced features. So we will, in the next slide, will definitely go to down what are different ECMAScript versions are there. What is the relationship between ECMAScript version and JavaScript, and some features, what are different additional features are added in our TypeScript. So we'll go in the next slides and discuss more on that. So in the next slide, it is basically the difference between all these terms like TypeScript, ECMAScript, JavaScript, Babel and all. So it's a simple meaning. ECMAScript is a standard for scripting languages. So as you know, like our JavaScript, JScript, all these are scripting languages. And ECMAScript is nothing but it's a standard. Like we need to maintain some standards. There are rules. Standards are nothing but some rules and regulations are there for scripting languages. Let me give on some brief, a small example. What do you mean by standards? Like how this fit into JavaScript. I am assuming, and I am assuming that you might have ideas on cars, bikes, and all these vehicles. It has its own engine to run, right? But the engine has some standards to follow. In India, we need to follow BS standards. BS stands for Bharat Stage. It has BS 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Till 2017, our vehicles, cars, bikes are following till BS 4 standards. Why we need that standard? Because in India now the populations are pollutions are increased, and as you know the vehicles are producing carbon dioxide more. So this BS standard, what it tells, it add more on filters. It filter out the particle carbon dioxide particles to smaller versions so that the environment is going to less polluted. After 2017 Supreme Court order something, then we start moving on BS direct 6, not to 5 but directly 6 versions in our in 6 version standards engines in our vehicles. Sorry guys, I'm not going to add it's not kind of a environmental science lecture, but it's a small example to understand you guys what do you mean by standards and all. So this is a small example. So similarly, ES has its own standards, ECMAScript for the JavaScript. You can see these ECMAScript are the standards, are rules for how to use and what are features are used in our JavaScript. That's all. That's simple, right? Cool, great. So okay, let's talk about okay, there are various versions are there for ECMAScript, and as you notice in this diagram, the TypeScript is comprises of JavaScript till ES1, ES2 standard, ES3 standard, ES4 standard, ES5 standards, and ES 2015, that means ES6 standards. Along with that, the blue lines meant for some additional features are added in TypeScript. Simple, right? Cool. So yes, so you might heard about some Google definition is TypeScript is a subset of JavaScript and blah blah blah. This is the simple meaning of that. JavaScript with addition of ES6 concepts with some additional features. That's cool. Great. Okay, now the terms came into Babel. Before going to Babel, let me give some idea like how JavaScript compiles, executes, and all these things. Who is responsible for JavaScript compilation and execution? So for compiling and execution of JavaScript, we all know that browser is the only thing is responsible for our compiling and executing our codes, right? Cool. Browser can only understand, browser is going to only understand only the JavaScript. The browser is not going to understand TypeScript. So for that, how we manage to do that? We have transpilers who compile our TypeScript code because browser is going to only understand JavaScript. So transpiler is compiles our TypeScript file into JavaScript so that browser can understand the codes written over there. There are small additional points I'll add at the end of the session. There are small things I'll going to add that particular thing in the end of the session, not now because it's kind of additional, not needed for now, but I'll add this one single point at the end of the session. Okay, now all these things clear. Oh, great. So as you notice, now let's move to Babel. What is the use of Babel and all? So as you notice here mentioned ES next versions. Yes next means yes 2016, yes 2017, yes 2017 equal to yes 8 versions. Okay, so so for that, why we need Babel? Like as I mentioned, as you all know, for JavaScript, the browser can easily understood the code. So, like, what is the use of Babel then? Okay, so the use and the need of Babel is, so yes, browsers are kind of they can understand our JavaScript code till some extent, till some standards. Like browsers are not kind of updated fashions. Like if you see some native Android studio Android mobile phones, their updates are once in a year, once in a twice in a year, something. So best example, Internet Explorer. It's kind of way before some era, I can say that. So for that, or for the oldest browsers are not going to understand the JavaScript also. Yes, I am saying the right. The oldest browsers are not going to understand the JavaScript. Why? Because now when we talk about ES 2017, that is ES 8, the JavaScript is more advanced in comparison to browsers. So for that, there now you can easily figure out there is a gap between browser and JavaScript, right? So for that, for nullifying that particular gap, Babel came into picture. So Babel, what it does, it takes ES8 course, JavaScript course, and stepping down the JavaScript standards. It compiles and it reduces, it changes its format to JavaScript 3 and 4 versions depending upon the browser, what browser supports its standards. So it's stepping down our versions. So based on for that only Babel is used. I hope now the picture is more clear for you, like what are the difference between these four terms, and I guess this will help you in futures. Cool. Let's go to next. This is simple diagram I picked from Google. There are ES1, ES2, ES3 versions, ES5, 6, 7, 8. Simple diagram, nothing to do with that. Cool. Let's go. So as I described, as you already know, key TypeScript is the combination of ES6 JavaScript plus some additional features. So for that, here is the basic data types of JavaScript plus these are kind of few advanced, you can say few features are added over here in our basic data types. Type assertion is not our basic data types. Let me clear that first. These are few data types we used in normal TypeScript. We'll go one by one and know what are different roles are there for the same. I know you already know few of them like tuples, enum we are frequently using. The senior developers are already using that. But let's see if you know few of the stuff. That's good. Cool. Let's talk about tuples and enums. Let's why we need tuples basically. Tuples are kind of, if you say I want to represent one array kind of set of elements. For set of elements I can use tuples. There was an backup option, I can use JSON object for the same, but yes, there is an alternative. I can use tuples for set of elements. There I don't, like, let's say example, in JSON we need to use I need to use name, age, and company name. So for that I use key and value pairs, right? But for tuples we don't need key or value pairs. We are using just values in tuple format. We can have array of tuples and all. How we declare tuples? We can have, like, currently I am adding three data types in a tuple. You can add number of properties, number of values into that. This is I used for strict type checking. So for that I am adding like how are okay, fine, we'll go into that. string boolean number and all. We are using hello 10 true. How we can access that? Is x of 0 1 x of 2? Yes, we can do. There is an alternative way how we can use these values. I am using just x of 0. Let's say I have array of tuples, then this structure would be more difficult to use for developers. There might be a chance of getting wrong index. So for that, we can cover in our later modules, like how we destructuring tuples, how we destructuring JSON objects and all, in our next or in our upcoming slides or upcoming PPTs, actually upcoming parts of PPT. Okay, let's go to enum. Enum, why we need enum actually? Enum represents a group of named constants, nothing like that. It just, let's give an example. If you want to have some kind of options, like in some application you want some static data to be maintained, some some constant data need to be maintained. For that you can use enum. It is a very good alternative for use. So in enum, I will give a small hint. It will help in our MCQ section. So enum start with 0 by default. If you don't assign anything, it will start 0 1 2. If I'm the console of C would be 1 because it starts with 0 1 2. Cool, great. We'll have a MCQ question based on enum. So I guess this might help you. Cool, let's go next. Okay. Now there is, it's time of any and void. Any, I can say any is the, like, the developers. Now each of us, we might forget the semicolon, we might forget some random things we can forget, but any, it's our favorite data type. Put any as anything, we are putting any. So okay, cool. But how the browser, how the compiler know, how the compiler knows what type of it is? If we put any, yes, any is good for us to put. Yes, we can put any. If you don't want any, um, if you don't want like kind of don't want to waste any time to decide what type of data type it should be, we can use any. But it's not a good idea to use any. Let me tell you that. So why? There are lots of reason for that. One of the reason would be, like in TypeScript, it checks the data type in runtime. So runtime, it decide what would be the data type of X. So for that, it takes like kind of it go on checking of its value and all these things. Kind of we are adding more tasks to the compiler to check, or compiler to check all these things. So it is not good, not a good practice to use any. So try to use some valid data types. Okay. So okay, let's talk about void. Void, as you know, if you don't used in our TypeScript or JavaScript, I hope you already used that particular thing in your C++. As you know, like void is kind of a, if a function don't return anything, we can say the type of return type of function is simple void. Cool, that's it. That's it. Nothing to that. We can, here in TypeScript, we can add void in also in our member functions like x colon void of undefined and all. But the main agenda that if a function don't return anything, we can use void for the same. Cool, great. Let's go next. Now there is another type is never. Never also, the type represents the type of value that never returns. If we're adding a function, return type is never, then it also means it's never returns anything. So here my question is, what is the difference between void and never? Because as we discussed now, ki void also don't return anything, never also return anything. So what is the difference between these two? Okay, let me tell you, one small difference is there. What is that? So the difference is The when we type the return type of a function is void, explicitly it returns nothing, but implicitly it returns undefined. So as we know, it not seeing to return, but it returns undefined. But in case of never, it actually never it will not reach the end of this function block, because it throws some error. Maybe I can say, right, infinite loop of while loop. So it actually explicitly and implicitly didn't return anything. So basically this function must never reachable end point. So in that case, we can add the return type of never. Cool, great. Let's talk about type assertions. It's simple. The term is kind of a big term, but the meaning is type conversion, as we used in our C programming. As we typecast something, there we are using type assertion in Java in TypeScript. So why we need that? Sorry, why we need that? Because in compiler try to now, as we see, the data type is any. But for compiler, if we find something in length, compiler will kind of it face kind of heart attack. What if the user adds some value, instead of string he might pass some numbers? So for that it will throw an error. So for that, I don't want my TypeScript compiler to be in heart attack. So for that, I wanted to add type conversion. So for that, the compiler would know, yes, whatever maybe the value is, the developer is type converting that particular value to a string. So I don't know need to worry about length, it would be there or not in number case and or boolean case or whatever it may be. So user or developer is typecasting to string. So I don't need to worry about that. So this is an small thing. Okay. Uh, I hope you guys are with me. So let's move to next, interfaces. Interfaces are used in our you can use interface. First of all, what do you mean by interface and where we are using it? Interface are kind of, we can, if we want key, uh, like if we want our base class need to implement some of my member functions and all the stuffs to my child class, then I need to use interfaces. Interfaces can be used in many ways. In TypeScript, we can use interfaces in JSON objects. We can use in classes. We can use a function arguments. In function arguments, we are writing number, string, name, string, age, number, return type is boolean or something. We're writing. Now, if we discuss about interfaces, let me discuss with you what is the difference between interfaces and inheritance. This is simple thing we used in our C++ and Java things. So basic difference is why we need inheritance. Inheritance is used if some if I have a parent class and I want to inherit some of its property to my child class. So in that case, so I am inheriting my base class property to my child class. So in this case also, it might be possible that I am not need all this my base class property, data member and member functions in my child class. It might also be possible that some of my parent or base class has some private members or member functions. I don't have access to get that particular things. Understood? Great. In case of interfaces, we must extend or implement, we must implement all these member functions or data members used in interface. We must need to implement that things in our child class. We have to do that, else it will throw an error. Cool, great. We'll discuss more on how extends, implements, what are things are there in our upcoming slides. Just for now, it's a brief heads up between what is interfaces, what is inheritance, what is the difference between these two. Done. Okay. As you notice, there are properties keyword is there, and there are four properties I wrote down. What do you mean by properties? It's no meaning of inheritance. Sorry, interfaces, properties, and all. So property. Let me clarify that property is defined based on how the member functions are derived. What are the function types are derived in our interfaces. So based on that, we categorized how we can define inside the interfaces. Based on that, we categorize into four different parts. Let's deep down what are optional properties, read-only properties. Let's go look into that. So optional properties, as you know, like if I'm going to add, or if I have a JSON object and I want to have an interface of type area config, then if I remove this question mark part, then I have to use color, width, and height in my JSON object. Else it will throw an error because it will not matching that particular interface. So, but if I want in my day-to-day projects, and we face same kind of same scenarios where we might need, yes, height and width is compulsory, but in some cases we might need color, but in some cases we don't need color. So for that we must need to add this optional property. Else if I don't need use that optional property, then else everywhere whenever we use area config, there we need to use all three properties. So for that we need an optional areas. Let's talk about read only. Read only are kind of constants. Yes, as you know, like we can change or manipulate our constants because it hold references, not our values. Because of that we are changing its values, right? Cool. But in interfaces we have, fortunately we have read only properties, and based on that we can define only once. So if I assign p1 to point and assign x of 10 and 20, then I only be once declared, that's all. I am never going to modify or reassign these things. It will throw an error. It is kind of helpful, right? Like currently we are using const and all, and as we know const can be overwritten once we, because it stores references and all. So it's kind of helpful in our day-to-day life or day-to-day projects. Cool. Let's go to next. Functional type and indexable type. What do you mean by functional type? So as we discussed earlier, how the functions, like when we initially write some functions, then internally I need to add name string, in arguments name string, age, number, then return type should be boolean. Instead of that, I can write a simple interface which has kind of this source string, name string, age, number, and return type should be boolean. How can I use that? A simple manner. Let me this is my function name and this is my data type, and I can use this my search equal to function something something and returns its boolean. If it returns apart from anything from boolean, it will throw a simple error that it is not matching our interfaces of some boolean. It returns number string something, but it should return boolean. It throw an error. Cool, great. Let's talk about important type of interfaces. It's index.